Just a second, you guys. Hey, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism. Ooh, I look too close here. Um, if you are brand new to our Let's Talk Autism, it is open discussion. It's all about us learning, sharing, and supporting one another. This is just our social gathering online where we share interesting topics, kind of break the monotony every now and then. But tonight we have a special topic, and I'm going to bring Mr. Charles because this may be something he can also add input into. So I'm going to put the link in there for Mr. Charles. Hey, Michelle, and I got to try you again this evening and see if you come up in our list. Hi, Lisa. And there's Mr. Charles. Hey, Teresa. So tonight's focus topic is being parents and caregivers and our loved ones who are interested in dating, or are we for them dating, or are we against it, and the reasons why, whether we're for or against. We talked about finding love on the spectrum, being on the spectrum before, and Mr. Charles is an example of that. He's been married twice, I believe, twice, right, Mr. Charles? Let me get
I'm in
this.
my third marriage. I outlived
Third.
two wives. Yeah,
Okay.
I've outlived
Third
it.
marriage.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
this is something. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear good. Um, so yeah, that's what tonight's topic is. Uh, one of our moderators brought it up. Um, and is this something we should worry about if our children show interest? What are your thoughts on being on the spectrum and dating and intimacy, Mr. Charles?
Well, I've had plenty of experience with that. And I did hardly any dating in high school. Essentially, no dating in high school. I dated one girl briefly in college, but it's after college that Judy and I were introduced. We were introduced at a religious assembly, and we sat together for the last day of the assembly, and then we went out to dinner the next Sunday, and we started dating from there, and we dated for a year and a half before we were married,
Okay.
or a little shy of a year and a half, but yeah.
Yeah.
And my only child, my daughter Dorothy, is from my
Mhm.
marriage to Judy. She was born the day after our first anniversary.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you have it, you guys. So it is possible to find love while being on the spectrum. And I know some parents had some worries about it. And like I said, I know one of our mods had brought up the topic earlier. Well, last week, she brought up the topic and she wanted to talk about it. So, how do you guys feel about your loved ones, whether they're adults or becoming adults, teenagers, dating or getting married? Are they showing interest? Um, how do you feel about it? Are you for it? Are you pushing for them to find love? Um, or would you rather them not for whatever reason? So what I'm gonna do, you can in the chat, you can put your thoughts in the chat, or you are welcome to come on up with me and Mr. Charles and share your thoughts with us. The link is in the chat room, and my dog is trying to jump up on my lap. No, Sammy. No, Sammy. Not right now. So for me, um, I that's one thing I would love for DeAndre to, have a girlfriend, but I believe for me that reality is that I know, I guess maybe because our mom and just knowing how his level of autism, I know that it probably will not ever happen. I don't even think he would know how to act around a girl. I mean, that he likes, but I don't know. I guess I would have to get him in a situation where there's lots of girls around and see what happens. Because right now he's in a classroom with all boys, and he doesn't really um, get out, to be around, socialize with females. Let's see what. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, one of the things I've thought about, and this is later in life, I look back at my high school days, and one of the things, and of course, again, this is as someone on the high end of the spectrum,
Right,
and of
right.
course, looking at that, I realized that in my high school days, perhaps I was trying too hard, and that was
Okay.
one of the problems because I found, during my marriage to Judy, I
Uh-huh.
had several opportunities to be unfaithful to her. I didn't take advantage of any of those opportunities. I stayed faithful to Judy, but I thought about that later and realized, that the fact that those opportunities rose told me something, that women could be attracted to me if I weren't trying hard to.
So what do you mean when you say you were trying hard?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it, but just uh, when you don't know how you're supposed to behave around people, what attracts people, you're going to tend to talk a lot about yourself or a lot about your own interests or whatever, and you're going to do things that are you're going to tend to make social mistakes when you try too hard versus when you
Okay.
sit back and
And think about it.
you're not trying hard to attract others. You can
Oh, yeah.
find others getting attracted to you, and when you weren't expecting it.
Okay. I am gonna follow his lead right now. Okay. My son is 9 years old, but I do worry about as he gets older, how would that work for him? Uh, Teresa says, it is my son's decision to date whoever he wants. Right now, he does not like girls at all.
Yeah, well, I was at that stage at one point too in my boyhood.
I wouldn't mind him developing some type of friendship with a girl, but I don't know how that looks since he's severely autistic and nonverbal. Okay.
And of course, you put nonverbal into the mix, and that
Yeah.
has another dimension to it.
Because, yeah, the communication between them would probably be non existent. So Joshua has to testify on the stand. I hope you guys remember the story. I feel so uneasy about, but it has to be done.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
No,
yeah. I remember. Yeah.
well, refresh my memory. I know it's his mom. It has something to do with his mom. Um, yeah, refresh my memory a little bit, Spencer. Lisa says, my daughter is 4, but level 3 as of right now. Lord, this is a scary thought. Yeah, yeah, it
And of
can be
course, with a
very,
girl, it's a whole different dimension than with a boy because you're also concerned about guys taking advantage of her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Now, I would say too, like even on your level of the spectrum, would you think it would be more so for a female on a high end of the spectrum for someone to be them to be easily take advantage of?
Uh,
Would you?
Again, it depends. Of course, with the high end of the spectrum, you can prepare them for that
Okay.
possibility. You can you can talk with them about guys and about what guys are like, and especially if you have if her father is in the picture, or a man whom you can trust is in the picture and can help explain that to her, from a guy's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing you can do. You can help them to be ready to protect themselves against guys who would take advantage of them.
Yeah. So then that would lead me to, like, if you had a teenager, um, would you trust, or even a young adult on the spectrum, would you trust after, if you felt comfortable enough for them to even date, would you as a parent, and this is for anyone out there, would you trust them to go on a date by themselves, or would you feel the need to accompany them every time? Tanya says he will be a teenager this year. July turns the big 13. Woohoo! And I know puberty is already doing its number. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and to some extent, the yeah, to some extent too. There are principles here that apply to a neurotypical kid as well. That at 13, you don't allow him, the freedom to date that
Oh, no.
you would allow at the age of 18.
Okay. Um. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I remember. Now I remember.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, prayers going out to you guys in the court. Hope everything falls in you guys' favor.
Yeah.
I would trust Joshua on a date. He knows right from wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
you would
good.
feel
Yeah.
comfortable. You at this stage, Spencer, you would feel comfortable with him. Not just that you trust Joshua, but would you trust the other party? Because men can get taken advantage of too. So, I mean, would you trust the other person? And it could be advantage of anything, taking advantage of their feelings, taking advantage of their money, taking advantage of anything. So you would feel comfortable just letting him go. You think he would understand at his level, um, what to look out for? Hi, Joe. I don't
Yeah.
trust him to walk across the street
Well, that's the
without
thing.
me.
As a parent, you know your child best.
Hmm. Right. Michelle says, I will have to wait to see where Jaden is when that time comes. Okay. Because, like, you mentioned with puberty, especially with our males, things start happening to their bodies that they don't understand. With the females, you may see a picture of a cute guy, and just, it's like, oh, I'm in love, you know. So, do we as parents, when our children start to get these noticeable things going on within them, do we act on that? Do we try to introduce them to the world of dating? Um, or what do we do? I mean, what are your thoughts? I want to hear some whys and why nots.
And
And again, you guys are welcome to come on up if you'd like. You're more than welcome. And Linda won't be with us this evening, but she will be back um, next week. Go ahead, Mr. Charles. What were you
yeah,
saying?
and just going a little bit further with my experience. Um, well, what happened when Judy died? Well, I'll give the story of that. Um, you know, Remember on Sunday, I spent the morning at her bedside in a hospital, we pretty much knew that she was on her deathbed. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, anyway, then I grabbed a bite for lunch, and we had our meeting in the afternoon on Sunday, the congregation I was in then. So I went to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses that I attended, and people from the other congregation that met in the morning were coming up to me because they made an announcement about Judy, and they were expressing their condolences as I was walking from my car to the hall. Then as I entered the Kingdom Hall, a young lady whom I'd known since she was a little girl, her name is Kim, she intercepted me and told me there was somebody outside waiting to see me, and it was her mother, whom again I'd known for 20 years. And
Mm-hmm.
Kim later said, you know, her mother gave me a few words of encouragement, some words of comfort. Kim later said that she sensed an electricity between her mother and me as we spoke briefly on that occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, you know, that's what developed. Then, you know, the following that Friday, we disconnected Judy's life support. We had, you know, two doctors agreed that there was no chance of her, you know, regaining meaningful consciousness, and you know,
Yeah.
and everything. The conditions were met under her DPA. So
Okay.
anyway, that Sunday we had her memorial service, and afterward, a friend of Judy's, a lady named Maureen, had a repast at her house. Well,
Okay.
at that repast, Heloise.
Oh, oh, wait a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Charles. Sorry.
Okay. At that repast, anyway, Heloise, that's Kim's mother, Heloise and I sat outside on this swing seat that was on the porch of Maureen's house, and we talked at length. And you know, we called each other from time to time during the following month. You know, that was in August that Judy died. In September, we called each other throughout the month. And then at the end of September, I called Heloise. Well, actually, I should back up a little bit.
Okay.
Heloise, first of all, she, you know, she got a little uncomfortable about my phone calls, and so she called a mutual friend, a lady by the name of Jerry, and told Jerry, you know, how do I get him to stop calling me? And Jerry said, I think that brother is interested in you. And well, I said, well, it can't be. I said, I think he's interested in you. It can't be. Why can't it be? It can't be. Well, why can't it be? Trust me, it just can't be. Well, next time I called Heloise, I called her the following evening, and she was ready for me. After we exchanged initial pleasantries, she told me, nothing personal. I don't want you to take this personally or anything, but I am sick to death of white folks. And she thought that would scare me away. She thought that would send me running, but it didn't.
It
So
did.
then she tried the race issue from a different angle. She asked, do your parents know you've been talking with a black woman? How do your parents feel about race? And,
Mhm.
you know, that wouldn't scare me away. Then the
Oh.
following Sunday, I called her and told her that I was scheduled to attend a class on Long Island at my company's headquarters in the next to last week of October, and I would like to come up to New Haven where she lived and visit her over the weekend prior to that. And well, then she really became determined to talk me out of coming, but she gave me her mother's phone number and her work phone number so I could reach her at any time of the day, and we began talking every day. And
Oh.
uh,
That was the start of something special, huh?
that's right. And then in just 2 weeks' time, we fell in love with each other. And
Mhm.
3 weeks later, we had our first date in person. And then the following weekend, after my class ended, we met in New York and went out to dinner at a Broadway show to celebrate our engagement.
Oh,
Yeah.
you move kind of quick, don't you, Mr. Charles?
Well, we've known each other 20 years again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
okay.
and in those every day, in those days when we talked every day, we covered a lot of ground, answered a lot of questions we had about each other. And, you know, so, and again, because we'd known each other for so long and had seen each other in situations where neither one of us felt the need to put our best foot forward.
Okay. Well, hold on just a second.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
be right
good.
I'll be right back, Mr. Charles. I have to let them out the door. So can you
Okay,
talk
that's
for a
fine.
minute?
I'll talk for a minute. Yeah, yeah, Spencer, I agree. That's a good idea. Limit the amount of money that he can, spend on his dates, and that's the thing. And meet his girlfriend. That's another part about it. Meet her, and that's another thing that makes a difference. My parents got to meet Judy. Her parents got to meet me. When we were dating. But Heloise, her mother got to meet. Her father had died a few months before we started dating. Her father had died, but uh, her mother got to meet me. My parents didn't get to meet her in person before the wedding, but they got to talk with her over the phone at least. And of course, at that point, I was going on 50 anyway. At that point when we were dating, and I had just recently gotten my autism diagnosis too, or well, at that point they called it Asperger's syndrome, but we recognize now that Asperger's syndrome is part of the autism spectrum, so we don't even call it that anymore. But and that was one of the things I told Heloise about when we were sitting outside Maureen's house. And it was one of the things I brought up in that conversation. So, because she had always known there was something different about me, and she was glad I told her because now she understood what was different about me.
Okay, so I am back. Let me see what Spencer said. I would give Joshua so much money for the date, so they can't take advantage of his money. And as far as his feelings being taken advantage of, I'm not sure on that one. Okay. Hey, Dinah. So, Dinah,
Hi,
we if
Dinah.
you guys are just joining us, we are talking about dating, being a parent, having a child or an adult child who is interested in dating. How do we feel about that? Do we want our children or our adult children to date? Why and why not? What are your thoughts with Nathan, Dinah, and Pam? What are your thoughts about Ralph?
Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pammy. And Teresa says she has to help make dinner. Okay.
Okay, Teresa. Well, good to have you with us.
Yes.
Hi, Dinah.
Kizzy says that was really hard for my mom, but my sister does have a male friend that likes her, but that's about it because my sister doesn't really understand, okay, the whole boyfriend and girlfriend thing because we all sit down with her to talk about it and the doctor as well. Plus, my sister can get really aggressive at times, and that's one of the things that scares my mom if she was to have a boyfriend and
He,
he would be
he would
upset.
upset her, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The danger. Yeah, that's something you have to be concerned about. You have a child that's prone to aggression. Is how might they, treat, a boyfriend or girlfriend or a potential husband or wife.
Yes. So
Hi, Beth.
everyone, hey Beth. Beth is going to be one of our new moderators. Linda's not here tonight, but she will be in contact with you, Beth. So thank you for sharing an interest and welcome to the team. Linda will reach out to you as soon as she can. And for everyone else, if you are interested in being a moderator, there is a post in the group. Please chime in. We're looking for at least a few of you guys that are interested and let us know. Um, Let's see what Dinah says. Dinah says, so Nathaniel just turned 20 this January. He hasn't been interested in social media before and now has an interest. He has also said he wants to socialize more, including girls. I noticed he was surfing the dating website, and I had to try to talk to him about this.
Yeah.
Besides talking to him and about it, how are you feeling about him wanting to socialize with girls? I know it could be, you know, worrisome, but are you? Do you want him to date? Um, why? Why not? What are your thoughts about him? If he found a girlfriend, if he found came to you and said, "I found someone I like. Um, this is my girlfriend." What would your initial thoughts be about?
Yeah, and my feelings, dating websites, that can be a tempting thing to someone who has difficulty socializing. But
Okay.
you need to be aware, though, that that's the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, people lie their heads off in their profiles. Um, you don't know who you're dealing with, and you're much better off joining some group of people that has a common interest, shares a common interest with you. Looking for people with whom you share a common interest, you have a much better chance with that than in the wild west of these dating websites.
Yeah, and you really have to be careful with these dating websites because you really don't know, you know, what's behind that screen. We have a question for you, Mr. Charles.
Well, Asperger's syndrome is kind of an outdated expression for what's now generally called level 1 autism or high functioning autism. Um, you know, Generally called that. Versus those of us that generally are able to live with either complete independence or a considerable measure of independence as adults. Who those of us who are able to function well, the autism has had some effects on all of us. It is a handicap, but it's like the difference between, well, let's take blindness. There's a difference between being totally blind, being blind in one eye, and being legally blind, or even having impaired vision to some degree, maybe short of being considered legally blind. It's a difference in all of those things, and a difference in what people can do who fall into those categories. And it's kind of the same thing that is an expression used now outmoded, referring to those of us who are able to function to a considerable extent in society. And maybe like me, I've been able to live an independent, productive, happy life as an adult. Uh,
Mhm.
some others may have some minor degree of dependence, but uh, or maybe may have more difficulty navigating life, but they still have been able to feel their way through life.
So basically, autism is just, well, Asperger's is just part of the autism spectrum. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, um, some, and now with regard to these terms, the term high functioning or the levels, uh, you hear from these quote unquote actually autistic groups raise objections to these things. Well,
Mhm.
what I've learned about these people, the term actually autistic,
Mhm.
you have to be careful about it. You have to be
Yeah.
careful about believing it. It's they these groups represent what they resemble to me is they're like on every university campus or just about every university campus you find some campus radicals, and it's sort of like a campus radical group that made of students that have very strong opinions and that feel that their opinions represent those of the student body as a whole, but they don't. And that's the thing. Look at it another way. I'm old enough to remember when the days when tobacco products used to be advertised on TV, and there was one brand that used the slogan, "Have a real cigarette, have a," and then their brand name. Okay, well, now my Uncle Bob and my Uncle Mac, I don't know what their favorite brands were, but I know the cigarettes they smoked were just as real as that brand, and the lung cancer that they died from was just as real as the lung cancer that people got from smoking that brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, and anytime somebody sticks a word like real or actual in front of something, I say you need to be suspicious.
Right.
Take it with a grain of salt, and that's the thing. And I also read into that a tendency to discount the feelings of parents. Well, the feelings of parents are important, though.
Mhm.
Um, you know,
Definitely.
you
Definitely.
know, if we as autistic adults want to help other autistic adults, parents need to be part of the mix, because parents are raising the future autistic adults. And,
Yes.
and so, we can't invalidate the feelings of parents.
Right. Yeah, and you hear a lot of, not to get off topic too much, but you hear a lot of those actually autistic um, individuals. They talk about that our kids, no matter what level they're on, can speak for themselves, can advocate for themselves, and that's just not true. They need us. Like my son, for instance, he would not make it in this world if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for the family to help him. He cannot advocate for himself, and it's so many of that, so many of them pushing that. Oh, they can speak for themselves. They can advocate for themselves, and they will argue you down just because you're trying to help your child, and that's just not true for everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. To some extent, and an attribute associated with autism contributes to the problem, and that's something that we had a focus live a few years back, that where the lady was talking about theory of mind, and the fact that we on the autism spectrum tend to have a tendency to assume that others are working with the same set of facts as we are, and what's more, that those working with the same set of facts will process them the same way. And that simply is not true. There
Right.
are things other people know that we don't know, and there are things we may know that other people don't know, but that works both ways.
Mhm.
And there are things too that people, and especially when we're talking about young autistic adults, uh,
Mhm.
they, because I can relate to them, and then I was once, of course, I didn't have a diagnosis then to guide me. I didn't know I had autism then, but I remember being a young adult and I had very strong opinions about a lot of things. And,
Yeah, and they have very strong opinion.
yeah, and,
Very strong.
and so I can relate to that, but
Mhm.
gaining the experience in life, thinking back my college days, you know, I'm now 76 years old. It's been 58
All right.
years since my freshman year of college, 55 years since my senior year. So,
Mhm.
it's, and that those years I gained a lot of experience in life, a lot of insight that I didn't have then, but you couldn't have told me that back then.
Right. So if you are just joining us, as you come in, make sure you guys thumbs up, show us a little love, that kind of stuff. Also, if you're just joining us, the topic tonight was parents caring. or caregivers caring for a loved one on the spectrum who is interested in dating. How do we feel about our loved ones dating and intimacy? What are your thoughts? Pam says Ralph doesn't really show much interest in that. Okay. Dinah says I really worry about him getting taken advantage of. I'm not really sure if he knows what dating means. Okay. Oh,
That's
you're
the thing.
welcome.
We're talking about young people on all levels of the spectrum, and also talking about young people of different ages and youth too.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's hard to say if you've got a 5-year-old son. How's it going to be? 10 years from now?
Right. You never know. And Beth says it would be nice to have more groups for young people to meet others, maybe on the spectrum. Yeah, and they do have the groups are out there for them to socialize, but I guess it would be a matter of if they show interest, and again, how do we feel about that?
Yeah,
Hey, Lorienda, what are your thoughts on Brandon dating? Has he shown interest in girls? Are you for it or against it? Um, has any one of you tried to hook your kids up in the dating scene? Have they shown interest? What are your thoughts, Lorienda? Ralph loves all his ladies from the news station. He
yeah,
definitely doesn't understand dating. Okay. I have mixed feelings about it because I want him to experience it, but I'm afraid that his heart can hurt from rejection. Yeah. He doesn't recognize those signs. He is also very shy, but girls, when he was in school, seemed interested. Okay. Okay.
yeah. One thing too, of course, is heartbreak is the subject of a lot of popular songs,
Hmm.
and and I don't know, I haven't listened to much of the current rock music, but I'm saying you go to the things a generation or two ago, and especially you have a lot of heartbreak songs, but those songs can help a young person to appreciate that the outcome isn't always good, isn't always positive.
Right. Um, that is Brandon. He knows all the pretty ladies, but don't understand dating. So would you kind of set him up? I mean, would you want him to date Lorienda? Is that something you want from him, or you want him to express it? Dinah says also he isn't good about understanding friendships. Okay, okay. My daughter married a school crush after my grandson was born. It was then that they realized my son in law is autistic. Okay. My daughter had to push him to work. Social anxiety is the hardest for him, but he's a great dad and now had the same job for 12 years. Awesome. Awesome.
Very good, very good. Yeah.
So you only experienced the social anxiety when you were a teenager, right, Mr. Charles?
Oh yeah,
You overcame you
definitely.
overcame that when you became an adult though. Or
Yeah, and even then, it was awkward, but with Judy, the group of friends introduced us to each other, and we
okay.
sat and talked, and we got to know each other, and then as we dated, we got to know each other better. Um, and
Lorienda says he watched on TV the teenage dating and says he don't want to get married because it's drama. He wants to stay away from that. He is on point if he remembers his dad and me. Okay. Smile. Me and his dad are great, great friends, but not good together, except having Brandon. That's me too, Lorienda. Same here. Kizzy says, my son started to show interest in girls, but I'm scared of someone taking advantage of him because he doesn't really see the bad in people, even when they are being mean to him. And that breaks my heart as a parent because none of us want to see our kids get hurt. Any that is so true. That
Yeah.
is so true. So yeah, I guess that is something to really worry about because if you left them to dating and say, they did find someone they really like, but that person was only taking advantage of them or, using them for whatever reason, and they can't recognize the signs or don't recognize the signs. Not only would they be heartbroken, but, you know, we as parents would be heartbroken.
One thing I have to say is that when you do, start dating, one person, and you get to know that person well, even on the spectrum, like I remember when I was dating Heloise, I got to learn, her signals and things. And I remember one time when we were dating, we were at the house and we had a whole bunch of family members at the house. My daughter and her, well, now ex-husband, he was her husband then, and her daughter and son-in-law, her and at least two of her sons, maybe all two of her sons and her daughters-in-law, they were all at the house. Yeah, that's right. And I think a couple of her grandchildren were there too. And anyway, it came up, we want to get dinner, and so we said, well, let's order from this Chinese place nearby. So we all, got together on what we wanted, and then we called in and placed our order. And then I said, I'll go over there and pick it up. And Eloy said, no, let's go over there together. And I said, I can get it by myself. And she said, no, let's go together. And then I picked up on it that with all those people at the house, there was no opportunity to have a smooch session. And so we drove over there together and we sat outside in the car for several minutes and had a nice smooch session.
Session.
And then we went and got the food and brought it back.
My kid looks like he can advocate for himself, but he needs me. That's right. That's right. And a lot of these actually autistics will tell you in a minute that, oh no, they can talk for themselves. Let them speak. Okay. I also think that Nathan is learning from his older sister about respect, safe sex, and how the dating websites can be dangerous and deceptive. Well, that's good. He has someone to show him. So I think that Nathan hasn't really tried for fear of being autistic. Okay. Hey, Monique, there you
Hi,
are. We
Monique.
had this topic up just for you. I'm afraid of justice being taken advantage of. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big fear. Um, but is it something um you would want for him if you had? I don't want to say control. I don't want to be like mom's just so controlling. But if you could kind of control the situation, if you could go on the dates with him, would you? Would you? Just so he can have that socialization with a girl. I want him to date if he express it, but I'm so scared someone will take. Yeah, that's the number one fear right there. Someone taking advantage. Oh, my Brandon. My daughter struggles more with her husband and son being autistic. She's also an ABA therapist, so she lives autism. Yes, with my son-in-law, anxiety. He has a hard time even calling to make appointments or ordering food. So there's hard times, but they navigate through them. Good, good.
Yeah.
Hi, John. I'm just leery of when my 14-year-old son gets to the point of dating. I'm concerned how he will handle puberty, and hopefully, I'll be able to help him through that. Yeah, I think that's important for us to constantly be in their ear and hopefully they can grasp, something, especially when those changes start happening with their bodies. I know I've been through it a while with DeAndre, so and he doesn't understand what's going on. So again, I guess I would be kind of leery of him dating or and he hasn't been around any girls, so where he's socializing um like that all the time. So he hasn't really shown any interest like pointing to girls or anything like that. So I don't know how I would feel if he actually started to show interest. I don't know how I would feel right now, but I would want that for him. I would wish, in the future that he could find love. I mean, that's a beautiful thing if you can find that right person. When my grandson is older, I hope he can find a nice girl. I think his loud, bossy little sister scares him away from girls.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, and I'm gonna try you
Yeah.
again this evening. And by the way, Dinah and Lorienda, make sure you guys check the team group so I can test y'all. I may not do it tonight, maybe tomorrow. I can add you guys to the listing.
And Michelle, hope it's delicious.
Yes. Hope you're having something good, Michelle. So, if you are just joining us, the topic is being on the spectrum and dating. Mr. Charles has gave us some insight on him being on the spectrum and dating, and he's been married 3 times. So, it is possible to find love. Mr. Charles has found it. So it's a beautiful thing. Oh, she said tacos. Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Sounds nice. Yeah.
Dinah says, I do think if Daniel Nathaniel wanted to date or said he was interested in someone, I would give him that chance. But of course, I want to meet her. Yes, yes. And then let his sisters keep an eye out for any signs of distrust. There you go. We have a lot of family events, so that is a good way to see how they relate. I still need to motivate him to have some independence and meet someone he can love. All right. Hey, Tammy, how are
Hi,
you?
Tammy.
I have a question for the parents since we are talking about dating because with dating comes kissing and other things. Yes, there's that intimacy. How would you explain sex to them? And how would you go by letting him or her have the time with that person? So yeah, that's a good question, Kizzy. So do we allow them alone time if we think that's where it's headed? What are you guys' thoughts in the chat?
And it all, everybody has their own views. Everybody has different views on morals, and that's why we can't. Obviously, you want to teach whatever your moral values are to your children in that regard. But as far as teaching them about sex, best thing is just explain the facts of life straight out. I mean, the fact is, how you came to have that child.
Right.
How you either gave birth to the child or became father to the child. So certainly you ought to be able to explain that.
So I guess I would ask, um, besides the dating, if they just showed interest, I mean, we're thinking, the religious things and everything, but if your child didn't really show interest in dating, but gave signals that they wanted to be intimate, they wanted to have sex, would you allow them to just have sex some alone time without the dating part of it? Would you let them or would you sway them away from that? That would be my question. What are you guys' thoughts on that? That's kind of deep, but Would you allow that to happen?
Yeah, hookups. Yeah, in other words, yeah.
Also, I don't know if this is the place to do this, but I was told to join live about offering my first book that I wrote, Autism. Yeah, I usually, if you are active in the group, but I usually at the end, in about 5 minutes, I will allow you to come up. You can come on up and tell us a little bit about your book, um, and share your information with us. So, but you have to come on up here. Can't share links in the chat area. So, give me about, we have about 4 minutes, and I will put the link on, and you are more than welcome to come on up and share your information. Can I get one with you to explain more why I asked the question?
Yeah, I think she means kind of get on with you. Yeah, and obviously she can come up.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Can I get on with you? Oh, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I put the link in there earlier, but let's do it again. Lisa says, thank you guys so much. I have to say goodbye for now. Appreciate you all. You are
Good to
so,
have you with us, Lisa.
thank you for joining us. So, John, the link is in the chat, the StreamYard link. If you'd like to come up and share your information, and Kizzy, you are more than welcome to click on that link and come on up and join us. We have a few more minutes. So come on up, come on up. And if you are just joining us, please make sure you thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Give us a heart or a care, but just don't make that ugly mean face. Mm. So we're gonna wait on Kizzy and John to
Yeah.
come
Well,
on.
while we're waiting for them, give a little story about Cindy and me. Those that aren't familiar, uh, after Heloisa's death, a few months after, she actually waited a couple months to send me a condolence card, and she
Okay.
sent me also a picture of her holding her granddaughter, her then baby granddaughter. Now she her granddaughter was just over today, and now she's 12 years old now. But anyway, she sent that, and so I called her up and thanked her. We talked a little bit. She told a friend of hers, uh, whom she worked with, Janicia. She told Janicia that, hey, Charlie called me and we talked and so on. And Janicia gave her a look and said, it was just a phone call. He ain't calling me. And then later I made my first major move after Aloysius' death was to order a new car. And so I took delivery in the car. I sent a picture of the car to a bunch of family members. I also sent a copy of it to Cindy, and so Cindy shows the text message to Janicia, and Janicia gives her a look, and just a text message, and Janicia goes, "He ain't texting me." And then, then when I called Cindy and told her I would like to get better acquainted, then she uh, well, she thought about it for a day. We talked for a while. She thought about it for a day, and then next day said okay. And then when we talked the next time, she told me that about her, but the Tunisia thought I was interested in her, and anyway, we started talking on the phone every day, and here we are. We were married. When we started talking in May of 2011, we were married in March of 2012.
Okay. So we are going to give John an opportunity to share some information about himself and his book. So it's all yours, John. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
Mhm.
So yeah, oh, it's got the echo. So forgive me if I go back, but I just went ahead and wrote this book called Autism Reimagined. I have a 14-year-old son, like I said, that had autism, and I just felt like, after seeing a lot of people that had the challenges and everything that they've gone through with their autistic children, I thought I wanted to go ahead and give like a parental view. I know there's a lot of books out there, and I feel like most of them are more like medically inclined or doctors, big words, this, that, and the other. And I just kind of wanted to write something that parents and caregivers and family members and siblings could all read, and maybe some of the challenges that I went through raising
Okay.
my son, I could help others that might have the same challenges. And I just wanted to offer it basically for free. It's in the PDF form right now. It hasn't been published yet, but I wanted to go ahead and offer that to the group if anybody was interested.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, if it's in PDF, I think there is a way. I have to check where you can download it as a file in one of your posts. But I have to check the group. But that's very nice of you.
Yeah,
And
very
it
good.
could be once it gets published, let me know. Because I do buy books to add to our parent boxes. So let me know once you do have it published, and I will
Yeah,
definitely purchase.
definitely.
Definitely.
And one of the other reasons I wanted to give it away for free to begin with anyway too is I wanted to get feedback too, to make sure that you know that people not necessarily agreed with me, but I just wanted to make sure that maybe if there's anything that I should change in the book, maybe some of the wording that maybe might trigger somebody, I would want to take that out, right? So that's the other reason I wanted to give it, for people to give me maybe some feedback before I actually publish the book.
Okay. So since you came on up and we're so nice, you are more than welcome to post it in the book, with information of why you're posting and a little information about it. You are more than welcome. So, admin team, if you are here when John posts his book information, please let it go through. Um, if I know not all the mods are here, but I will make sure if it gets declined one time, just inbox me and I'll make sure it
All
gets
right.
through.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
But see, this is how I want everyone to come on and just share your information. This was nice, and I look forward to reading it. So yes, that will be what Lorienda said. She won't decline. All right.
Okay.
So I see Kate under here. Let's put Kate up. Hi,
Hi,
Kate.
Kate.
Hey guys, how are you?
So
Fine. How
how's
are
the
you doing, Kate?
baby, Kate?
I'm getting big. If you can kind of see right here, starting to get
Okay.
big. But
Oh,
yeah, we're doing good.
well, good.
Healthy, morning sickness to the T. Got
Uh-huh.
pneumonia this week, so I'm home on
Ooh.
bed rest. But
Oh,
all is well, and I'm not giving up, and I'm fighting through. So we're doing very well. Rob's very excited. I'm very excited. We're in the process of buying our first home, so all is moving wellly, and it's really fast. So I'm excited.
Oh, Kizzy,
okay. Kids.
you
Yeah.
might need to open it in the on the Safari browser works. And
Yeah.
there's one other browser who I think Google Chrome works. Some other browsers have problems with
Right.
StreamYard,
Yeah,
but
I think
no,
if you're
Google
on,
Chrome works
I
and
think if
Safari
you're on
works.
your phone, it won't work on Google Chrome. I think on the phone.
It
Um,
works on Chrome. That's what I'm on.
if you're on the phone, you're
Yep.
on the phone. Okay. I
Yes,
know
I'm on my
on my
Google
phone.
phone, and it works for me.
Okay, Kizzy. So just try if you can.
Exit out and come back in.
Wait,
That's her
wait,
best
wait
bet.
a minute. Wait, Kate. Kizzy, if you can, let me know the message that you are receiving, the error message, and I think I can help you out there.
Yeah, I know.
Lorianda says congratulations, Kate.
Thank you.
I know.
We're
I'm
so excited.
Safari browser, so the Safari browser works fine.
Yeah, Safari does. It works really good. Stacy, I feel bad. I keep missing Autism in Us Live lately. Been occupied. Oh, new baby.
Well, that's very good, though. That's a good
Yes.
reason to be occupied.
Yep, that's a good reason. Very good reason. But we will be back next week. Gotta go early. Have a wonderful week. You too. We're gonna log off of here in a few minutes,
You
Kizzy.
too, Pam. Have a good week.
Yeah, sorry I missed it today. I've been cleaning the house and I lost track of time,
Just
so sorry about
John,
that.
just make a post in the group.
Hey, I
Make
figured that back
make
out.
the post and we will approve it. Just make a post in the group and sharing it, and I'll make sure it's approved. Yeah, love you, Pammy. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you for having. You are so welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for coming on, John.
Love you all. Thank you again for being family. Thank you, Beth, and look out for. I'm not sure sometime this week, but look out for Linda sending you a message. So, everybody, we are at the end. Hope all of you have a great, awesome week. And take care of yourself. We don't have Danielle on here to give us a little self-care tip, but
One other thing, Kizzy, I'll
yeah.
say to Kizzy is put a post up in the group. If you haven't been able to get on, put a post up in the group with with your concerns, because I'm sure somebody can address them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Nita, quickly, did you guys choose the new moderators yet?
Yeah, we have one.
Okay,
Beth.
because I submitted and I never heard anything, so that's why I figured to
No,
ask.
we're doing a team effort to make sure, we're looking for more so like parents. So
Okay.
because it's a parent support group. But
I'm still interested. I moderate other autism groups, so let me know.
okay. We are going through them. We are
Sounds
going
good.
all right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Love you
guys. Have a good
all.
week.
Good night.
See you guys later. Till next
Bye,
time.
guys.